To be living elemental is to be living a more balanced life. I'm your host, Sara and the founder of Jade Scott Design. Through my interior design studio and feng shui practice, I awaken clients to the idea that their home is just as essential to their well-being as is to their mind and bodies. Essentially, nature's elements create balance and support, and through the lens of home, we can utilize their power when applied intentionally. Through this podcast, it is my intention to open you up to the idea that by living elemental through mind, body, and spirit will have a significant impact on your home and your life. Today marks my 50th episode of my first year of podcasting. I cannot even believe it. I shared with my email community last week that I am really proud of myself. Now, I tend to get really excited about new things, thank you to my dominant wood element, but sometimes following all the way through can be my challenge. And that's usually when my earth element is missing in action. But that is not the case with the podcast. I'm really proud of what I accomplished this year. I have learned so much in my solo episodes talking about feng shui or conscious design in some form has only deepened my understanding and practice. The clients that have come to me from the podcast, I've learned so much about them and their journeys as well. And that's the beauty in podcasting, is that it's like this full circle moment. It's for you, it's for me, it's sort of this journey that really doesn't end. And so I'm really excited for what's to come next year. And so today, for my 50th episode, I am honoring my top guest as she took the #1 spot this year for most downloaded and most shared episode, and that is Meg Lavalette from Lavalette Interiors. I got so much value from this conversation with Meg that I've actually implemented some of her logistical boundaries, we'll call them, as I've been given the chance for a fresh start with my own business here in Austin, Texas. You know, I think we all sort of fly by the seat of our pants when we're first starting a business. And so this was a really enlightening conversation for me personally. Even though this particular conversation was focused on boundaries as it relates to running a business, setting boundaries, as the title suggests, helps us regulate our mental state. Boundaries can be implemented really for anything in our lives where we might need a little bit more structure or maybe sanity, right? For example, a boundary I've set for myself is no work before 9 a.m. Because most mornings, the second my eyes open, before I lift my head off the pillow, my brain starts going on and on and on with all the things I need to do, not just for work, grocery lists, school events that I need to purchase things for. Right now in particular, it's wrapping up Christmas shopping and random items that I want to Google or look at online. When you actually start paying attention to the noise going on inside, you realize how maddening and disruptive it can be. And so my mental boundary is creating space in the morning just for me to tame all of that noise. So I get home from dropping the kids off at school around 7:30. And so between the hours of 7:30 and 9 a.m. is me time, me with a capital M, me connecting with myself in ways that are supportive of how my day moves forward. That might include meditation, journaling, reading, yoga, listening to a spiritual or self-development podcast while I get dressed. You know, it's certainly not all of those things every morning, but it's usually 2 or 3. And that way, when I go into my office to start my workday, I am focused on the tasks at hand, which is what I think Meg conveys so beautifully in our conversation on boundaries. Take a listen to some of the highlights from our conversation.
You know what? I learned that in therapy, and that was part of my healing from depression is boundaries. I'm an introvert and I need to have boundaries in order for me to not feel depleted and drained. And multitasking doesn't exist, by the way. you're not really being productive and you're just spinning yourself up. So really just focusing one thing at a time. Like this morning, because I was on the road for the last couple of days and client meetings and did shopping and site measures and everything. And I come back to my desk today with so many emails and so many action items after seeing my clients the last couple of days where I started feeling not grounded. And so this morning I said, okay, what I'm going to do is not look at my phone at all. And I'm going to methodically go through each step of this morning and be uber present. So I'm going to really be present when I'm brushing my teeth. I am going to make sure that all the clothes are put away before I leave the house today. And it seems counterintuitive because I have all this stuff that's going on and like all this catch up that I need to do. But by making myself slow down and be present, I was able to get that sense of grounding again. And breath work, I mean, that sounds a little bit more formal than what I've been doing lately, but just focusing on taking a few really deep breaths when I start to feel like things are getting out of control. And also being cognizant of the cadence of my tone and taking pauses in between words. Sometimes I'll have clients who are really revved up or who are really anxious. And so I give a pause before I start to speak and I'm present with them, then allowing them that space to feel that chaos that they're feeling and then pause instead of waiting to talk while they're talking, thinking about what I'm going to say. So it's little things like that, that if I get out of balance, that I feel like everything goes into a little bit of a state of chaos. And so it's important to, again, know yourself and to know what's going to work for you so you can be aware of when things start to go off the rails to get them back on track. And not every day is going to be perfect. For me, breathing, maybe meditation, maybe taking a walk in the back meadow, things like that. When I'm disorganized, I'm not creative. I've learned that about myself a long time ago. So I need to be organized and I need to have systems and processes in place. So email's best way, but scheduled calls. I want to be at my desk taking notes of what my client is saying to me. I don't want them to call me when I'm on a construction site and we're dealing with an issue of the light being in the wrong place and the rug got damaged. Like, I'm not going to be focused on that client if I'm dealing with something else. And then we have set work hours. We're a professional, industry. And I think that's something that a lot of designers struggle with is we're seen as like a friend who's helping them shop. No, we have a design studio and we operate regular weekday hours, 9 to 6, Monday through Friday. We observe weekends and holidays. We have families. We have friends. We have lives outside. And guess what? Our vendors have those same hours, and the other people in our industry have those same hours. So we are just sticking with what works for everyone else too. We need to have those boundaries. Every Friday, our clients get a weekly status report. The weekly status report is organized by room, by item, if we need to communicate anything. And at the very top, we have a scheduling link where the client can book time with us on Monday afternoons after they've had the weekend to be at home and read our Friday weekly status report. And if you have any questions that have come up that are not answered or something else you want to speak to us about, you can book time on Monday afternoon to speak with us. That Monday morning is for us internally. I'm getting up to speed with emails because I'm not responding to emails over the weekend anymore. We're having that weekly meeting to project our hours, to make sure that we're not overspending hours on any projects too. And then that Monday afternoon is for our clients. So they can check in with us and ask any questions. And those couple of things right there have kept us sane and organized and our clients so happy. They know what to expect. And I think that that helps the clients relax a bit. At the very beginning of a project, I think clients can be either anxious or so excited, or there's a lot of anticipation. And once they start to get into the routine with us, it kind of just settles everything down a little bit. And you realize, okay, I boarded the train and we're going to ride this journey together and we know what's coming up ahead of us. And it just makes for a smooth process and happy clients. I think that we're people pleasers and we just want people to feel great in their home. But if we don't tell clients how we work best, they're not going to know. And it's not being rude or forward by telling them how we work best. It's actually creating a mutually respectful relationship. So they understand how to best respect us and the work that we're doing for them. When you're starting your own business, you want any client that you can get. You don't want any project to go horribly wrong. You want to retain every client. And I want to pay myself well, and I want to pay my employees well, because that's how you're going to retain good employees too. It's this whole trickle down. And like, once you get to the point where you realize like it's not going to be smooth the entire
Right.
time, things are going to go sideways, and you're always going to be learning something new. Always. I go into these shopping trips with clients, and vendors are teaching me stuff as we're sitting there having conversations. But the more you're in it, the more you realize how much you don't know. And that's okay. To be able to feel that confident and self assured that you're okay with not knowing everything and that you are still learning, that opens up the door to being more curious, to exploring more, to being more creative. So if we operate from feeling insecure, then it's not going to work for yourself or for your clients or for the project. But to operate from that perspective of confidently not knowing everything, I think that leaves the door open for so much more.
The link to Meg's full conversation is available in the show notes. You can also find links to her website and Instagram if you want to learn more about her and all the things related to the Lava brand. Again, a huge, huge thank you goes out to Meg for her insight and courage to talk about her personal journey with mental health and creating boundaries. As I said, boundaries has become quite a buzzword, and so I am not surprised that her episode came out on top for most streamed. All of my guests this year have amazing gifts to share, and that is the beauty of podcasting, to be able to share the wisdom of others, to learn a bit more, even for myself, to stir up a curiosity about another way of doing something or living with more intention. That is the sole purpose of this podcast. And that's a wrap on year one. I will be resuming new episodes starting January 9th, 2024. I know I've asked all year long, but I'm going to ask one more time. If you have enjoyed any of these episodes, please, please, please leave a review and send me a screenshot of it so I know who you are. I'm happy to send you a little gift for doing so. Also, be sure to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you are alerted when our next episodes come out. Also, be sure to check out Shop Elemental. Since we are celebrating 50 episodes, I am celebrating with 50% off one item of your choice. If you've been eyeing up a particular item, or you want to buy yourself a little something, or maybe a gift for someone else, now's your opportunity. This discount is exclusive to my podcast community only as a thank you for your dedication, your reviews, your likes, your shares. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. I see the numbers and I would love to know who you are. So please reach out on Instagram. Again, send me a screenshot of your review. I'm happy to send you a gift for doing so. And for 50% off any item in the shop, please use the discount code podcast. Lastly, if you've been considering getting your home consultation, the new year's coming up, which is a great time to set intentions for the whole year. Maybe you have some boundaries you want to get in place. These are things we can work on together through your home's feng shui. And so you can schedule a clarity call with me directly by going to jadescottdesign.com. I will put the direct link in the show notes for easy access. And I certainly look forward to hearing more from you and embracing 2024. Until next year, my friends, much love, gratitude, and a beautiful holiday season.